Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I have a lot of boxes here, very expensive makeup that we are gonna be testing out. I am so excited. I didn't even open these up. Like I wanted to wait to do this on camera. This is all new Louboutin makeup. I pre-ordered this. I paid for all of this myself. I have no clue what's gonna be in these boxes, like how it's presented and all of that stuff, because as we know in the past, I have reviewed Louboutin makeup and it tends to be very over the top, to say the least. Why do I still have these? I can't throw them away. I can't get rid of them. I can't donate them. They have a permanent home in my beauty studio now and in any beauty studio I've had since. These are really crappy lip lacquers that I reviewed on my channel. I will link the video below, but these are like $70 a piece. I tried to revisit testing out one of them this morning and I put it on and I was like, ugh. But I can't get rid of it because I paid a lot of money for it. This is what the package looks like when you order it. This is so extra. All right, so we have one item right here. This is gonna take me a minute to open all these boxes up. This is the Luminous Ink Liner. So the thing is, with the pre-order, I had to order each item individually. So if you can imagine, like I placed individual orders for each one of these boxes to do this review. That's just how they had it set up. You couldn't order multiple items. Let's do this, let's dig in. What is this? It's like a love letter from Louboutin. We hope you enjoy your Christian Louboutin products as they carry you off on magical days and fanciful nights. Okay. Oh, so this one comes in a pretty box. What's this? Mascara. I got a something. Brow definer. Eye definer. In other news, just so you guys know, at the gym this morning, I totally held the door for Kanye West. Yeah, I did. He said thank you. It was really nice. It's kind of a cool moment in my life, actually, because I was listening to Kanye on the way to the gym. Just random little tidbits with Tati, you know, life in LA. Don't worry, it's all padded. I'm not breaking anything, I promise. I mean, this really is just a giant waste of packaging, but that's kind of the Louboutin theme. I didn't mean to do that. Ink liner, the journey continues. Success. We have our Louboutin products in front of us. I'm going to test everything out for the first time and then wear it throughout the day, and we're gonna see how everything goes. Of course, I don't think I can wear everything all at once, so I'm gonna give swatches of everything as well. So there are 3 ink liners. There, I believe, is a red one, and that is the Louboutin red, and you see the packaging on the outside is even different. So we're definitely gonna be testing these out. And in true Louboutin fashion, this looks like a weapon. These actually look pretty cute for a liner. I think this is really cool. Okay, that looks a little bit different than I had imagined. I thought it would be a little bit more pointy for some reason, kind of replicating the pointiness of the cap, but we shall see how that goes. So there is a black that is supposed to be a patent leather finish, kind of a shiny black finish. That's actually not always my favorite thing. I tend to prefer a matte liner. So in my mind, I'm already going, I don't know, you know, but I want to try it out and see if there's anything magical, because this has a very high price tag, which I think for all of us, sometimes we think the higher price tag means that it's going to outperform everything else, and that is not always the case. So this one is a $75 liner. I have 2 other shades here. There is Lady Twist, which is more of a teal blue, and then the Rouge Louboutin, which is the classic Louboutin red. So moving on, I did pick up all 4 of the brow definers. These are $40. They have a spoolie on one end. This guy. Ooh, texture. Interesting. It kind of has like a blurring, kind of powdery softness to it. This is an actual pencil that you would sharpen. It is not a twist up. And then you have a pretty fat spoolie on the other side. Again, there are 5 shades. I'm gonna swatch them all. Moving on, we have the Velvet Eye Definers. I'm actually really excited about these. Okay, so these are the Velvet Eye Definers. Again, this comes in a variety of shades. Look at this one right here. It's like a neon, just a natural everyday color, nothing big. That's like neon yellow green. That's like a highlighter. So this comes in 5 shades. I think I've said that like 5,000 times. All right, then we have the mascara, which is what I am most excited about. This is a $70 mascara. If something works so beautifully and it stands out from the rest of the makeup crowd, then I think it's worth it, but it takes a lot to impress me. The packaging on this obviously is so gorgeous. It comes in two shades, a black shade and a more maroon shade. What I'm planning on doing is wearing the black shade on the upper lashes, the maroon on the lower. So without me rambling on any more about the products, let me scoot you guys a little bit closer and we will get to trying them on. All right, so we're gonna start with brows because I keep looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I look so weird without my eyebrows on. And something that I'm gonna point out, you know, I have all four of these $40 brow pencils right here in my hand, and the name of the shade is not on here. So let's deduct a point for that, because even though there is a color right here on the very tip that tells you what kind of a shade it is, I don't know what the actual shade of each one is. So it looks like we have something for dark brown hair, for more auburn hair, blonde hair, and then gray kind of a taupe undertone, which is what I'm gonna go for. Let's swatch this a little bit. Yeah, that looks about right. The darkest one is just a step down. I might kind of mix the two together, but the more blonde one is going to be way, way too light for me. And then the auburn shade is definitely way too warm for my eyebrows. So we're gonna stick with these two that I have no idea what the names are. Now, I typically prefer a more precise micro tip, kind of like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, something that has a little more control, but we're giving this, oh, shh. I'm disappointed from the first little, okay, these are very soft pencils, and I don't know about that color. All right, on one hand, softer pencils like that get the job done a lot quicker, but they're easier for you to screw up in my opinion, and they can look more unnatural because you're not making those teeny tiny brush strokes, you're just kind of smudging color everywhere. Feels very, very extremely waxy. No, I don't think I like it, guys. All right, so that is with just one pencil, and I'm actually just gonna keep it as is because the other pencil is darker and this has a lot more pigment than what I was expecting it to, so it really smudged on a lot of color very quickly. You have to be super careful with this, and I'm just gonna stop. We're gonna move on to the liner. We have the Louboutin Red, we have a black shade just called Khol 100, and then there's another shade that's really fun called Lady Twist, and that is the one that I'm gonna use today because why not? I do have important meetings and errands to run, so I didn't wanna do like a red wing liner, but I'm gonna kick it up a little more than just black because we wanna see what this is capable of. So I have very basic eyeshadow on my eyes right now, nothing major. I wanted to keep the lid as clean as I could and matte so that we could really see how the liner performs. So I'm just gonna go on and say a small prayer and hope for the best. So the liner went on pretty smooth. It is a little bit patchy where I feel like I wish the color was just a little more even and maybe a little bit richer, especially for that price tag. You know, this is not bad, it's working good, but I want something to make me go, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life if I'm spending $75 on an eyeliner? Do you know what I mean? Like, ew, do we see that? So I can't really tell if my eyeliner is even or not, which is kind of making me a little bit crazy. I think the color of this is really pretty, but it is patchy, which is so freaking disappointed for $75. Are you kidding me? I love the packaging, I love the concept, I love that it's Louboutin, but can we get it together on the consistency? Like, what is that? I'm gonna take a little bit of the black and just kind of go right at the base of my lashes, just on the outer edge, just to give a little more depth, just to frame my eyes a little bit better. So this is not as vinyl and shiny as I was expecting it to be. This actually dried down a little more matte than what I was imagining. You can see It's just slightly patchy. There's a little bit of an inconsistency on where it has more pigment that looks like teal as to where it just looks kind of dark. Let's play with some of these eyeliners again. I wish they had the name on it. Why is the name not on this? All right, we have a brown one right here, a plum one right here. There's the teal. You know what? I kind of want to put this on the lower lash line. We have that lovely neon shade. I don't know how I would wear that or when I would wear it. And then I want to say that there's the black one. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this black shade, I'm gonna throw it in the waterline, and I wanna see how long wearing this black liner is. These feel really, really creamy. They are $40, and you get quite a bit of product. I wanna see if it collects in the inner tear duct, if it does the smudgy thing. That's always my test when I look at black liners. I want them to be easy to apply as far as being pretty smooth, but I also wanna make sure that I don't end up looking like there's this crazy smoky-eyed mess around my eyes halfway through the day. And we've all been there where you use a liner that's too creamy and then it's kind of smudging on that inner corner. It's kind of dragging down over here. So we're gonna throw this in the waterline to give it a good thorough test throughout the day. This could be a bad idea. I have a really, really big meeting today. And whenever I do these videos, I don't like to touch up my makeup. I like stick it through. Okay, so the pigmentation on that is insane. That went on so easily, and it is so black and so rich. I really love how that went on. Now it's just gonna be a matter of whether this stays looking good and tidy or if it turns into a mess. So this is a mascara that claims to do it all. It's gonna lengthen, help hold a curl, thicken. It is heavy. I mean, I could do some like bicep curls with this sucker. It is actually very, very heavy. The package itself is insane. So opening this guy up, you have kind of a rubberized wand. The bristles are not too close together, so it looks very spiky. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this one, the black shade, on my upper lashes, and then I'm gonna apply the maroon shade on the lower. So I've curled my lashes, and we're just gonna kind of wiggle at the base and go in and hope for the best. All right, the pigmentation on this is really nice. It is very, very black, like very, very rich in pigment. It is doing a really nice job. I mean, I also know that some drugstore mascaras can do a really nice job too, so it's hard to say that I'm like super, super wowed, but this looks nice. All right, it's definitely adding a lot of length, more so than volume. It's not really giving me like that crazy voluminous look that I really, really love. Where is the mascara I'm so into right now? It's not in front of me, but Marc Jacobs mascara, I'm back on that one, and it just gives you like really big lashes and gives you length and curls. So that one kind of in my mind is outdoing this already. So it's just at the top of my brain that that's the one I've been reaching for the most lately. And this is giving that length, but it's separating them just a little bit too much for my taste. Wow, actually that's insane. That just made my lower lashes look really good. I kind of wish I had a spoolie in front of me to kind of clean it up just a little bit, but that, look at my lower lashes, that's crazy. This look for now is complete. So I am gonna go about my day. I am going to do a few check-ins. It's a very big day for me, you know, lots of secret projects that I'm always working on that I wanna make sure they're finished before I tell you about them. Cool stuff is happening, which means I need to be like business savvy woman today, and let's just hope that this does not melt all over my face. I will check in with you guys in a little bit and we will go from there. Louboutin way too expensive makeup. All right, you guys, we're at about a 3-hour wear time and nothing has smudged too badly. I wanted to do a little bit of a check-in. I just finished up a meeting and I'm at Starbucks now, refueling. But I gotta say, the liner in the waterline is doing such a nice job. Still not a fan of the brow stuff. Mascara definitely is so-so, which means it's probably not worth $75 or $70. But this is where we're at, and I will do another check-in for you guys in a little bit. Yeah, so no matter which route we take, we are screwed. We're in traffic that just is never ending. Let's see where we're at with the eyeliner. It's not bad. It's not worth $75, but it's not bad, guys. I don't hate this. You know, all the Louboutin lip products, I was kind of like they were horrible. The nail polish chipped in one day. This has stayed put. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna do another check-in probably in like 5 hours from now when I finally make it home. This traffic is not getting any better, you guys. So the liner is still exactly the same, the traffic is still exactly the same, and we're still not home. Wish us luck. Oh. What do we think about the Louboutin super expensive makeup? Okay, final thoughts here. The mascara I actually really enjoy. I don't think any of this is worth the price, so I'm gonna say I don't think the mascara is worth the price. It doesn't have any ingredients like the Chantecaille mascara to encourage your lashes to grow or anything of that nature, which makes me justify the price on that one. But it didn't flake, it didn't irritate my eyes. It really held a curl so nicely, and it does make your lashes look nice. So I can't argue that it's not a good mascara. I just think the price is really outrageous. Now, if you're purchasing this to be a showpiece or a gift, you want to keep the box, you're a fan of the brand, then maybe that's worthwhile to you, but I don't think I would purchase this again. I will enjoy using it, but it's not worth the money, just my opinion. Now, oh, been a long day. Now, these right here, these $75 liquid liners, these are the most expensive new launches, and I'm really impressed. This did not budge at all. It wore true, it wore bold, it did not do anything bad all day long. So I'm really, really excited to use the black one. I will let you guys know how that goes. I will update you for sure in an upcoming video. I actually really think this is an amazing formula. I have tried so many different liquid liners, and this definitely impressed me. You know, the shade itself when it went on was a little bit patchy, and I did have to go over it a few times, which was a bit of a drawback being that, gosh darn it, it's so expensive. But I am so impressed that everything has stayed looking perfect for the amount of time that I have had this on my eyes. I do also want to use the red liner. I'm just not exactly sure how I'm gonna make this look very wearable, or maybe I should just do a look where I'm doing very not wearable makeup, just, you know, just for fun. So yeah, I think this is a really cool packaged item. I think it's very unique. I mean, when we compare it to just the regular little liner right here, this is something special that looks like a showpiece that represents the brand, and I like it. I know I'm gonna get some heat on that, but I do like the liquid liner. All right, now let's talk about the pencils. Typically when I wear liner in my waterline, I feel like it makes my eyes look really small, which if you go to Friday's video, that was definitely the case. And it's just not something I like to fuss with a lot because usually, especially with darker colors, it will bleed and I have watery eyes. And especially with my allergies, you know, I was complaining about that earlier, and my eyes are watering, I'm sneezing. It's that time of year where I want to rub my eyes, and I'm so impressed that this did not smudge all over my face. So again, I don't think any pencil is worth $40, but I am gonna keep playing with this because I was really impressed with the formula. The packaging is really kind of typical. I would expect a little bit more from Louboutin. I wanted a little bit, you know, something a little more edgy with the packaging, but it is what it is. It was a great formula, and I am happy that I tried it out. Now, the brow pencil, I don't think I'm gonna use again. It's just not my speed. It's not how I like to apply brow product in general. So the pencil was a little bit too heavy in pigment, and you know, the color stayed on nice and true all day. Like, I can't complain about that. I just like to have more precision, and it wasn't, in my opinion, my best brow day ever. So I'm not sure that that's worth $40. God, I can't even recommend any of this makeup because none of it is worth it. I know in my mind that you can get alternatives for a much lower price, but you guys really requested me trying out the Louboutin makeup, and it just kind of has a special place in my heart because of my first WTF. So I did try it. It is good stuff, not worth the money because I just don't think anything above, you know, a $40 price point is really, it's just not worth it. Unless it's that Tom Ford liner. Oh God, that one is so good. Okay, back to reality, Tati. Liquid liners, thumbs up. Mascara, thumbs up. Pencil liners, thumbs up. Brow product, Is any of it worth the high price? No, it is not. But if you want to splurge on yourself and these look interesting to you, then they will not disappoint. They did a good job with the product this time around. And that's where I'm going to end this video. We're gonna shut it down there. I am going to go wash my face now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Mwah.